everybody. Welcome to NFL Game Day View, presented by Mercedes-Benz. Patrick Claybon here with my pal Cynthia Freeland, and not Greg Rosenthal.
No.
You know this man from his work as the host of CBS's The Talk, as well as a ton of shows, movies like Jerry Maguire's, Sliders, Stand By Me, acting legend, fantasy football star, Jerry O'Connell. How you doing, man?
I don't know if I'm a fantasy football star. At least not this season. I'm not a star.
It's okay if you keep playing. At least it's not every season. You gotta have some down ones to appreciate the up.
If by second to last place makes me a fantasy football star.
It's not over yet.
The thing, Jerry, you have to be in. Eventually, if you're in 35 leagues, like, you're gonna win, and you can take the star.
Oh man, I'm in that terrible position too, where because I'm in second to last place, everyone's like sending me the worst trades, and it's just like, get out of here. And I have this trick where I send back like terrible trades back, and they're like, are you joking?
Like, help me,
giving you.
Help me, help you. Jerry.
I'm not giving you.
The reason Jerry's here is because Greg bailed on us. He went to London for the game. He did, however, take the time to send us this message.
Right.
Hey guys, here in London, wanted to thank you for the nicest compliment anyone's ever given me, that the only way you could possibly replace me on Game Day View is with a movie star. So good luck, Jerry. I want you to do well on your picks. Just don't do too well. I'm in first place, and I want to stay there. I want to keep this job. I have 2 kids. Like, I need it.
There we go.
He has to worry about my pick skills. Or, I won't be breaking any records. But he couldn't, like, dude, you couldn't go to Big Ben
I
and
know.
take a shot like you're doing it in some bathroom of some airport?
It was like a
in
tree
Heathrow?
shot, you know? We got.
If you look very closely, you can see the cars are on the wrong side of the road. Greg did mention the picks, so let's get to it. As we see the results. Actually, no. Let's talk about the game of the week, because last week, the game of the week turned out not to be. Sunday night, San Francisco put on a beatdown on Dallas. Brock Purdy shredded the Cowboys defense for 4 touchdowns, while Dak Prescott threw 3 interceptions. Dallas was humbled as the 49ers cruised to a 42-10 win. So now the Cowboys head to Hollywood to take on the Chargers Monday night. The Bolts have won 2 straight after starting the season 0-2. Jerry, we know you're a huge Chargers fan.
Yeah.
Who's winning this game?
You know, I am a believer in the Dallas defense. I really am. And I've been to a Cowboys-Chargers game, and this is the tricky thing about the Cowboys on the road. I mean, it's basically a home game. I mean, I love me some Chargers, and I love being here in SoFi. It's a great stadium. You guys all work here. But it's kind of a Dallas home game. I think the Dallas defense is going to show up, and I think Dallas is going to win that game.
Ooh.
Painful.
Okay. Well, I have a close game projected. I have 25-23 as the final score, but I have the Chargers winning this game. One, I'm not even going to talk about revenge with anyone. You know, who could potentially be the offensive coordinator, but I am going to talk about Keenan Allen. And we saw some interesting things happen. The coach said that with Leighton Vander Esch out, he's going to pull Micah Parsons out. So perhaps Micah Parsons won't be in Justin Herbert's face the entire time, which means some guy that used to be the offensive coordinator is going to dial Keenan Allen's number up, and he'll have more space to work with, more time to run a deeper route. And I just think we see number 13 run roughshot in the 2 areas that they're really missing. We're really missing the Trayvon Diggs-size hole in that secondary, and I think Keenan Allen will run right through it.
Well, that's something to make Jerry and the Chargers fans feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
I am going in the opposite direction. I have a Dallas with a 2-point win.
Is this a prime number?
Well, dial it up. Go to the servers.
See,
and all the
when
information.
we have our own, when we pick against everyone, we get, so I get this very nerdy thing called the prime number.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not AI, because that's what we're like striking about and all that stuff. I'm joking, everyone. I'm joking.
No, I'm all about the singularity.
I'm joking.
Actually, nobody knows if I'm really a robot or not. Like, the singularity is coming.
But now we can have Jerry confirm that Cynthia does actually exist. This is not like a plant. But ultimately,
We're really good VR. No one knows.
Dallas gets. I don't think the bye necessarily impacts LA. Especially against the run, where they have had a lot of problems over the past few years. And then there's the fact that Dak Prescott can get the Cowboys into the right run play, especially out of the shotgun, where the Chargers are in the bottom 10 of the league. Dallas is in the top 10 of the league running while in the shotgun formation. Everyone plays the Niners, and afterwards it's like, oh, God, they're miserable. Disband the roster. They're not playing the Niners every week. It's week 6. Just chill. I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to be just.
I drafted Pollard in every single one of my leagues because I thought he was going to be RB1 for the season, and I need him to wake up. And I have a feeling that this Chargers defense, or lack thereof it, is just a place for him to wake up. Listen, it is frustrating, and I'm saying this as a Chargers fan. Our defense is really depressing at times, and they lose games they shouldn't be losing. And their offense is there. They're down their wide receiver too, and their offense is still there. So it's a little frustrating this season. I just think the Cowboys are going to win this game.
See what you guys are doing to this man?
Or he's like reverse psychologying it.
It's not. It's
the
not
computer
reverse
thinks
psychology.
it's reverse psychology.
No, it's just there's so many letdowns in life. You have to. I tell my kids, prepare yourself. Life is hell.
Well, sometimes teams let you down, and sometimes they eventually bounce back, like Cynthia Freeland's Detroit Lions. They're one of the hottest teams in the league.
That is
Jared
exciting.
Goff, O.C. Ben Johnson have the offense cooking right now.
Goff takes, fakes to give to Montgomery, rolls, throws, end zone, caught, touchdown Detroit Lions, Sam Laporta. Off the takeaway, gadget play. They're going to go with a flea flicker. Goff throws, man wide open. Touchdown Detroit Lions, Sam Laporta. Razzle dazzle and 6 on the board.
It's a battle of first place teams squaring off between the Lions and the Bucs. Mike Evans is going to play Cynthia. Is it all Lions from here on out? Are we?
I have a very big Lions win. For me, it's 1 point. I don't care. It could be 1 point. It could be 50 points. It's just as long as they get the win. Now, 23-22 is what the model produced. And I want to talk about Sam Laporta. But can you redo your reaction when you saw him?
They're just a really exciting team to watch. And Sam
Laporta
is right there. I mean, I got to tell you, in some of my rankings, I have him in all my fantasy football leagues. He's going to be he's going to be top 2 tight ends this season. Nobody called that. He's a rookie, right?
Yeah, yep. He's literally setting next-gen stats, rookie records at the tight end position. He plays for my team, mine.
It's great.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of a bummer. I did draft Jahmyr Gibbs in a lot of leagues and haven't really seen him popping yet.
Well, he's out this game, too, so you won't see him in this one. But David Montgomery, he will be fine.
Speaking of David Montgomery, let's distribute some flowers in his direction, because slowly but surely, especially in the fantasy football community, everybody has started to realize, hey, David Montgomery is actually pretty good at this.
He's really good.
Goes to Austin Eckler on Matt Harmon's, he and Matt Harmon's podcast, where he laid out all of the things that David Montgomery does well, keeping his shoulders square, the line of scrimmage, run, pass protection, everything. And in this game, it's a rare condition that the defense is better against play action than the Lions are at running it. But this is going to be the grinded out David Montgomery game. Going to get some shots to J-Mo, comebacks to Amon-Ra. Roar, baby. 2-point win for the Detroit Lions.
Really, 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 really fun team to watch. And, I'm not a Detroit Lions fan. I've spent a little time in Detroit. Good friend from there, Jerry Minor. But I really am really happy for Lions fans these days. It's like,
thanks. We appreciate it.
It's about time. I also have the Lions winning, but I do want to say Baker Mayfield played great a couple weeks ago against the Saints, I believe.
Yeah.
And so Tampa looks good, but I think the Lions got this game, and I think they're going to go deep into the postseason. Deep.
Oh, there we go. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to early
Like
Sunday morning.
in my lifetime.
The third and final installment of this year's London games. The Ravens taking on the Titans, and there's plenty of fireworks to look ahead to.
From Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, there is not a ticket to be had for this game.
Touchdown Jackson! What a play! Flowers with a video game move. The King is back in town. The great DeAndre Hopkins. Touchdown!
Lamar and the Ravens facing off Derrick Henry and the Titans live from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Rise, shine, watch a full day of football, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network, streaming on NFL Plus. Learn more at NFL.com/international. So that is going to be 6:30 a.m. for those of us here on the West Coast. Your NFL Network coverage starts at 4 a.m. our time. What time are you getting up for this one? And
Listen,
who's gonna win?
it's been a while since I've had to set an alarm to watch the NFL, but here we are. It's been 3 weeks in a row now, and listen, it's better than going to work, that's for sure. Love it. Right. Actually, I'm going to do the rest of this segment in British accent.
Yeah, give us
Thank
your
you.
picks.
If you want me to make a pick,
I would.
this is going to be really interesting. I think this is going to be a Baltimore bounce-back game. That's what we like to call this. Although I do want to know the travel times. Like, I know the Bills came a lot later than the Jags because the Jags had an extra week. And those Bills in the first half last weekend looked jet lag, sleepy. It took them a while, and they didn't really come alive until that last couple minutes in that game. But I do have the Ravens winning this game. Right.
I, too, have the Ravens winning this game. I only have a 21-19 score. I think that the Titans came on Friday, and I think that the Ravens came on Monday. I think that's what our researcher told me.
Well,
I hope I got that right.
they're
But
gonna be
when I'm
jet
looking
lagged.
at this one, last week, what happened to those Ravens? When you go back and watch the film, Patrick, our resident Ravens fan, avert your eyes. Not Lamar's fault. That's not, and
It's a drop.
ready? Not Lamar's fault. And all of the rest of them, also not Lamar's fault. So
Remember
the
this
reality is sometimes regression works the opposite
Gotta
way.
catch
If you're
that.
doing really well, sometimes you got to go back to the mean. Sometimes you revert to the mean in the other way, meaning once these drops happen, it's not going to keep happening. They're going to get some Velcro for their hands.
She dropped
They're
that
gonna
one twice.
Make sure that poor Patrick. But my whole point is that was a weird game. They should have won it. They didn't. But it wasn't because of Lamar's bad play or anything like that. It's not like a fundamental problem. It was just a one-game thing.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is there anything grosser than watching a drop in the NFL? It's like, oh, man, it's...
There is, when
Yes.
it's the team that you're a fan of. It's dropping the ball. I think Baltimore wins this game by 2. I'm giving them 25 in this one because Jeffrey Simmons is going to play, but doing so bouncing back from getting dinged up. No injury designation, but he's such a big part of this D, so I just want to shout him out because he's got 13 quick pressures this season per next-gen stats. That's the most from an interior defensive lineman, but the Titans' pass game is going to be kind of limited here, I think, especially as Jerry points out, just making this trip with the time it's tough. Ravens win.
I mean, monarchy, queen, it's just poetic. You have to, you know?
Right. You've got to catch those balls, Ravens. You've got to catch them. Keep your eye on the ball when it's coming to your hands like a laser. Right.
Coming up, Jamar Chase actually caught the ball, balled out last week. 15 catches, 3 touchdowns. Is Cincy
Unreal.
officially back? We're talking Seahawks, Bengals right after this.
Over 50 points in fantasy. Crazy.
I remember the moment like it was yesterday, like it was right now. Play action, I roll right, and when I went to release the ball, I was off balance, and my foot went forward, and I just knew.
You know how hard it is to get an NFL football team to sign off on a guy with athlete's foot? I got laughed off the phones more times than you can count.
It was a fast-moving strain. The doctors were able to save his foot, but not his career.
To have it come to an end like that, man, that was devastating to him.
All I know is my foot was never the same.
It's time for the Drive to Excellence presented by Mercedes-Benz. Frank Cushman's NFL career crashed and burned after a devastating case of athlete's foot. Fortunately for the Bengals, Joe Burrow didn't let it rot like Cushman. Overcame a calf injury to lead his team to victory. They host the Seahawks now. Jerry, would you and Cush make the same pick here?
That was so much fun to do because it was the actual NFL Films people talking about my character
Amazing.
from Jerry Maguire having to retire because of severe athlete's foot. It was really funny, but it was really interesting to see them make those NFL Films, which we all watch. Getting back to the game here, it was so exciting to see Joe Burrow work through an injury and not take any time off. He literally played through an injury. I don't think I've ever seen football cure an injury. That's what he did. And he's back. I think he's going to go off in this game. I got the Bengals winning this game by a lot. I think they're going to do really well.
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. I just think the Bengals. I believed earlier this season, based on my fantasy drafting, that the Bengals were going to be an offensive powerhouse. And I know T. Higgins is still banged up. I don't know if he's playing or not. He's not.
Well, it says
It's
doubtful.
real.
Yeah.
But man, it was really exciting to see Joe Burrow just throwing it. And I think the Bengals are going to throw up some points, and hopefully I'll win fantasy this weekend.
Well, I hope you win fantasy, But I also hope that my pick works out, which is 24-23 in favor of the Seahawks. If you're looking at Greg's score, he copied off of my paper because I turned my homework in first. So that's something everyone should know. But I'm talking about Kenneth Walker here. The run game and what they've been able to do, even with the tackles banged up between both Charbonnet and Walker, has been super, super impressive. And specifically Kenneth Walker. You know Pete Carroll wants to run the football. They've had both of their starting tackles on not playing the games, and I guess they're potentially back in this one. And I've seen the Bengals have some confusion up front this year. Things are a little bit different. Safety position is completely different, but the spine of their defense, I still trust Lou Anarumo. I just think that between Geno Smith, Kenneth Walker, and 3 pass catchers, that it's just advantage ever so slightly to the Seahawks.
It's so absurd that you and Greg have the same score and a Seahawks win. I think that's ridiculous. I also have the Seahawks win by 1 point. It's 23-22, so it's totally different.
22. People get really mad at me for putting 22s, just so we're clear.
Well, yeah, nobody gets mad at me for numbers because they know that I can't count. I've got Geno Smith as the reason that the Seahawks win this game for a lot of the same reasons that Cynthia pointed out, because Geno gets the Seahawks offense into the right run play. That's why initially he won that quarterback competition and Pete Carroll trusted him there. So I think, they're a top 5 play action team because of Geno Smith. Geno Smith is a big part of the run game. Hawks win it by my score, not Greg and Cynthia's score. And that we do have our first Scary Jerry going solo on a pick.
Yeah. This is also going to be me circling this game to remind you all that I picked Cincinnati in this. I'm doing the old circle.
There we go.
Okay, gotcha.
There's multiple circles.
A lot of circling.
Let's move on to the Colts. They lost Anthony Richardson early in the game last week. They still managed to pull off a win against the Titans. Julian Blackmon here with the game-winning interception. Cameras Gardner Minshew and company fired up in the locker room after the game.
4-quarter football game, right? And we're going to take 4 quarters and defense, get the 4th down stop. Huge! Huge! Hey, and then offensively, a 15-play drive to bleed that clock out, and then Julian, you get the... Championship starting the division, right? We got one. We got another division game next week, right? So get your bodies right, get your minds right, because we're going to go do that again in Jacksonville next week. All right? Stepped up big time. He's done it twice now. 10, break us down. Let's go! You fight to the end, and you find a way! Hey, gang on 3. 1, 2, 3.
It's time for Pizza pregame predictions delivered by Little Caesars. The Colts heading to Jacksonville to scream and yell and face a team that just knocked off the Bills in London a week ago. Indy put Anthony Richardson on IR earlier this week, so it's Minshew getting the start. What do we see here besides Minshew just being super crunk?
I really like when Minshew's that fired up, but I think it's going to go the other way. I have Jacksonville 25-20 in this matchup. I want to talk about, I actually kind of owe the Jacksonville defense an apology, especially the secondary. Andre Sisco, especially versus the run, this guy's great. Like, I would even call him electric. He is an incredibly big, impactful force stopping the run. And I didn't think that was going to happen. I will say. I give a lot of credit to what's going on in that defense for mixing up looks. They play a lot of different, cover 4, cover 2, lots of different types of defense. But Andre Sisco, I'm sorry, I was wrong, and now I'm righting my wrong.
Yeah, I have to agree that Jaguar defense is awesome. They are really showing up, and that normally I would take the Jags in that situation, but I have to say I am a fan of the WWE, and seeing Gardner Minshew in that locker room just fire everybody up. I mean, literally, Gardner Minshew is the living example of you never have to get ready if you stay ready. You never have to get ready if you stay ready. The man is staying ready. He is in there. I think he's going to really ignite this offense. I got the Colts winning this game, everybody.
Yeah.
Full stop.
All
Gang
right.
on 3. 1, 2, 3. Gang.
But not gang on the picks. It is a Scary Jerry because I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. There it is. Because they've got everybody's attention now. If this was best hype man, absolutely, it goes to Gardner Minshew. But Trevor Lawrence is dealing. And people who saw him last week and they're like, oh, what's going on? Why were the Jags because they were dropping the ball early this season. We had the Ravens drop tape. The Jags were dropping the ball to one of the highest rates in the NFL, especially considering that they were in crucial moments. 12 in total that could have shifted the season. The reason that I'm bringing this up is just to say that Trev's been dealing all season. The Jags are getting even better. I think they win this 24-12.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yep.
Yeah, circling this Jacksonville game as well. There we go. Yeah.
There's even more circles on that.
Cincinnati
That's an
and
aggressive circle here.
Jacksonville. Gonna be in touch this weekend, everybody.
We'll see if Jerry's pen gets even more work because we got Brock Purdy and the 49ers going to Cleveland to square off with the Browns. Will San Fran's juggernaut offense keep rolling? More picks on the way.
Purdy back. Time. Steps around from DeMarcus Lawrence. Throws for the end zone. Caught by George Kittle. Touchdown! And on that shallow cross. Here's an end around and a flea flicker. Back to Brock Purdy. Takes a shot. Down the sideline to George Kittle. Kittle all the way to the end zone. Motion. They're going to give it. No, it's a play action. Purdy going to roll left. Throw for the end zone. Caught by George Kittle. He has the hat trick. The play action going to roll right. Throw. Full back. Wide open. Spider 2 wide banana. Touchdown.
Like, I'll do that.
We're back here on Game Day View with Cynthia Freeland and Jerry O'Connell. We got the 49ers-Browns matchup. Deshaun Watson ruled out for this one. P.J. Walker is going to get the start. Cynthia, shock the world. Take the Cleveland Browns. Peach.
I'm not going to take the Cleveland Browns, but I am going to point out something good about them. Just so you know, right now my score is 24-17. But I do want to talk about the matchup I'm really interested in, and that's the left tackle Trent Williams against Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett has just been a total game record. Now, the thing that I know, like Kyle Shanahan and like Jim Schwartz, they kind of came in the league at the same time. I don't know if they like each other, but I'm going to pretend that they don't and that they kind of hate each other and that they're going to be like, hey, let's get Zadarius Smith in there because Myles Garrett's wrecking the left tackle's life. So when I'm watching how this defense operates, they actually have like a lot of different looks, a lot of different adaptations. It could be a lot harder for Brock Purdy to manage this defense than it was others. This is the best defense on third down. This is the team that forces the most 3 and outs. So I'm thinking like some of that pressure up front, but keep your eye on Myles Garrett and Trent Williams. That's going to be a good one.
You know, I totally hear what you're saying, and normally I would agree with you, but like the Dallas defense is like the #1 defense, and it wasn't even like it wasn't even an issue. It wasn't even a blip on the radar for the Niners. I mean, if Deshaun was playing, I might just for giggles pick the Browns. But
so you can circle some more.
Yeah, so I could circle some more and get my scary music. But then I think the Niners have got this one. They are scary good.
Yeah, and the only question is the margin. I've got San Francisco 21-9, but I do want to point out and state to everybody, Brock Purdy is a very good football player. I just want to say that. If the thought is the Browns' pressure defense going to be the thing to slow him down, I think Kyle Shanahan is going to play it safe, considering what Cynthia mentioned and pointed out about Myles Garrett and how much he moves around. Maybe not as many deep shots, but while Brock Purdy is completing bananas, 72% of his passes that are over 10 air yards. He's just playing really good football right now. I just don't necessarily think they're going to try to light up the scoreboard because we've seen this offense without its quarterback. That's the only time that they've lost when Brock Purdy is playing is when he got hurt. So, yeah, keep it safe. Low-scoring game. Niners win.
You know, it's really interesting. I think like it's so funny. I remember watching that game when the Niners blasted the Cowboys and being like, "What is the Niners' next test?" And I think it's Miami. I'm not quite sure. It's coming up in soon, and like that's the one. That's the next one I'm going to look forward to. But
it's hard to run the table.
Yeah.
I mean, for any team ever, it's hard to not be tested.
Yeah, right. But that's how good they are. We're looking at the schedule to figure out where the loss comes. Let's do some quick picks. The Panthers, the only winless team in the NFL, they face the high-flying Dolphins. Cynthia, will Bryce Young get his first win?
No,
That'd be fun.
How about we say, are the Dolphins going to be okay without Devin McChan? Yes, they'll be okay. 32-19 is my projected score for this one. And I want to point out, Tyreek Hill was used in a screen pass, which just means that this is such a creative offense. And what Mike McDaniel is doing down there in just insane stuff. So while I would play Raheem Mostert in fantasy, if you're looking for, even if Jeff Wilson comes back, there's some extra fantasy advice for you. I just think you're going to watch this offense and be like, this is a crazy. Tyreek Hill's not running screen passes. Like, that is where we're at. It's insanity.
I think they're like, at times in games, they're now in like experimental mode.
Right. They're like, he's like, let's stir this around. Poof, that'll work.
Let's get the ball to this really
like
fast.
bacon ice cream, you know? Like, it'll work.
I'm going to go out on a limb and take the Dolphins in this game.
Yeah. Play it safe. Why not? The Bills and Giants on Sunday night. Daniel Jones is ruled out due to a neck injury. Tyrod will likely start in this one. I've got the Bills 23-12. And why am I only giving the Bills 22 points? Because with the Giants on their backup quarterback, because they couldn't protect their starter, having no hope in the pass game, I think they're going to run the ball a lot. I sincerely think the Giants are really just going to chew clock, and it's going to be a lot of just Bills on the sideline. We'll get to see plenty of seeing Josh Allen talk to Stephon Diggs, maybe lots of shots at Coach McDermott just like this, because the Giants, Jerry, I don't have any hope for him.
Well, just tell me, Saquon is he going to be playing? He's coming back. This is Saquon.
It's questionable.
It's questionable whether he comes back.
Yeah.
You know, I went big on Darren Waller this fantasy season. I thought he was going to like break all kinds of records, so it's pretty tough. I am going to watch a little bit of the game because I am a Tyrod Taylor fan. I mean, I am. He was a Charger here for a hot second.
He was also a Bill.
And he was also a Bill. This is a revenge game. So I am going to watch it, but I do think the Bills will be victorious.
Speaking of revenge game, Josh McDaniels and Jimmy G revenge game, if we can call it that with New England. What happens there, Cynthia?
I have Las Vegas winning this one, 21-19. I want to talk about Max Crosby because we talked about him a couple years ago, and then last year it didn't look the same. And on Monday night, he basically stole Jordan Love's life. Like, all of his joy. He took all the joy out of that game for Jordan Love. Like, it was really impressive what he's able to do, especially the amount of times he's chipped, that they do shifts for him, that they use motion to try to stay away from him. It doesn't matter. This guy's coming for you.
I think the Patriots have some problems, everybody. I think New England, we have a problem.
Bill Belichick said they're starting over. And what does that look like? It looks like starting over.
Looks like starting over.
Yeah, I mean, Mac Jones is still starting, right? He is starting. I mean, I just don't see. Until they really start over, I don't really see anything happening. So I'm going with the Raiders. The Raiders looked scrappy last Monday, right? It was Monday night game. They look scrappy on Monday, so I got the Raiders here.
Scrappy like that dog that's barking. I'll take the Patriots in this one.
Whoa!
And Greg isn't. They finally killed his joy. Coming up, Jalen Hurts and the Birds flying high at 5-0. Sunday, they face the Jets at MetLife. Could it be a trap game? Does anybody believe in trap games? Our picks for Eagles-Jets next. Thanks, Scott. Let's get some more pizza pregame predictions delivered by Little Caesars. Jalen Hurts and the unbeaten Eagles heading up the turnpike to take on Zach Wilson and the Jets. Philly, 12-0 all time. They've never lost to the Jets. Is there any chance that Robert Saleh's team, Jerry, changes all that right here?
I think there is.
There it is.
Yeah, I think this is the weekend. I think Zach Wilson has been building up to this moment. I think Breece Hall, since his injury, has been building up to this moment. We all know that the Jets' defense has been building up to this moment. I think this is the weekend. The Jets are going to win it, baby.
Oh, there it is.
Jets, Jets.
Let's see if it's Scary Jerry. Cynthia, what do you think?
I feel like I like how much passion you have about it, and I feel very mean. I'm picking Philadelphia to win. I have 26-18 in this matchup. I feel really sad saying that. I'm sorry to take the joy out of it.
It's okay. Listen, it's the NFL. Everybody's got their opinions.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, A.J. Brown. Let's talk about him for a second, because the problem that I have is with how good this defense is they're a little bit on the injury report. So DJ Reed may or may not be playing. We saw Sauce Gardner end up ill, potentially not playing either. Those are two of the very best corners in the league, and especially when they play together. That's difficult to overcome, especially when you got a guy like A.J. Brown, who has been running like a whole bunch of different routes. He's kind of been all over the place. I was going to talk about him even before Sauce Gardner ended up on the injury report with an illness. I think that, because Sauce lines up on the defense's left, the offense's right, so he could go anywhere. And I think A.J. Brown to the end zone, that's where Jalen Hurts is looking, so that's where I think we should be looking. I just feel so mean.
Well, no, it's okay. I don't take it personally. I'm actually not entirely sure the Jets can win the game either. I just wanted to make for good television.
Stay with it.
Either way, cue up the music. This is a Scary Jerry because I am also taking, yes. Yes.
You're taking the Jets?
Yeah, no, I'm taking the Eagles.
I was about to high five. I was about to hug you. I was about to jump on you
what's
like,
going on?
I believe. No, I believe we can win.
No, I do not believe the Jets can win, but I am going to take some points away from the Birds because this Jets defense has stifled some really good offenses with their capacity to generate pressure everywhere along the line, all starting with the way Quinnen Williams brings the pressure from the inside, but they're so sound at every level. Jets defense, number 2 in the league in red zone rush. The Eagles, 29th in red zone rush offense. We heard on the Kelsey's podcast, Jason lamenting that fact. They'll get it figured out at some point, but points may be difficult to come by. I do think the Jets keep this one a little bit.
Just noticed Greg's score.
A little bit closer. Yeah, Greg does not believe in the Jets at all. 40-10. Those were your Pizza Pizza pregame predictions. The NFL London games marching on exclusively on NFL Network. Lamar and the Ravens face off against Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans live from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Rise, shine, and watch a full day of football Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network. Also streaming on NFL Plus. You can learn more at NFL.com/international. It's time for more or less. Let's talk about that Ravens-Titans matchup in London. There's some more, just a little bit more, some star power in this one. So let's get into some props. Lamar Jackson, more or less than 2 touchdown passes, Cynthia?
I'm going to go, you said passes.
Passes.
Yeah, passing touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm going to go less. I mean, I think he's going to rush for a bunch, but I don't think he's going
I
to
think
pass
he'll rush for
more
a
than 2.
touchdown, and I think he'll pass for a touchdown.
Also, those Ravens are at times incapable of holding onto the ball in the end zone, so I'm going to say
You
less.
said it, not me. I just think it's more running.
Get to Ryan Tannehill, more or less than 205 passing yards, and I say more because I think they're going to be throwing it a good bit, maybe need to throw it a little bit more, so I think more for Ryan Tannehill than 205 passing yards.
So sorry, Mr. Tannehill. I'm going to say less. I'm going to say less.
Ravens D is good. Ravens D is good.
All right, speaking of Lamar throwing, more or less than Mark Andrews, 4 receptions, Cynthia.
5. I have 5.
5
receptions.
Way more.
I think that you got to throw to get away from that pressure front.
Also, I have Mark Andrews in a PPR league.
Nothing selfish here.
A little
Nothing,
motivated.
not for your own motivation, just,
Maybe my pick on this next one is motivated because Derrick Henry, 63 rushing yards. I do say it's going to be more. It would be a trend breaker, though. His 2 games under 63 this season were against top 10 shotgun run defenses. Baltimore's number 3, so maybe it's my fandom causing me to be negative here and thinking he does over because I'm fatalistic and sad, but those are the numbers just so you know. I think it's going to be more. What do you think, Jerry?
I'm so sorry. What was the question? There were so many facts
63
there.
rush yards for Derrick Henry, for the King in London.
How many rush yards?
63.
Oh, more than he's going to have more than that. Although that Tajay Spears is
taking the third down snaps.
He was scoring some points. I picked him up in a few leagues, but I think he'll have more than that. He's the king.
All right. DeAndre Hopkins had his best game as a Titan last week. He had 8 catches for 140 yards. Cynthia, more or less than 56 yards this week. 56.
We're going way more. I'm still in the. Up we go.
That would just be insulting.
When Coach Vrabel says that we need to get the ball to him more, I believe Vrabel's he's not a lying liar who lies. He'll say weird other stuff, but if he says we need to get I think it's 772 and a touchdown.
Yeah, I just don't want to insult D-Hop. I'm going to say more.
Yeah.
I love a D-Hop, but I already, even if I didn't, more.
I do like the fanatics of ball to him more when they're playing against Baltimore. Zay Flowers, more or less than 56 receiving yards. I like more here. He dropped more than 56 yards last week alone. I think he's not going to have that sort of game. He's not going to do himself or you like that again. What do you think, Jerry?
I'm going to say less. Zay has been a little disappointing as of late. I'm going to say less. However I hold this.
No fantasy bitterness from Jerry ever.
Touch. I started you last week, Zay. I mean.
Got to keep it together. Derek Carr and the Saints smashed the Patriots last week. That was great for fantasy. They got C.J. Stroud and a very feisty Texans team in Houston Sunday. Picks for that one right after this break. YouTube TV is the new home of NFL Sunday Ticket. Being an NFL fan has never been easier. Watch every game, every Sunday, exclusively with NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV. Sign up now. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, visit NFLSundayTicket.com. Back here on Game Day View, the Saints going to H-Town to take on C.J. Stroud and the Texans. Stroud still has yet to throw an interception this year, Jerry.
Really impressive.
Do you think Houston wins this one?
You know, it's really interesting. The Saints are really baffling to me as a team. I mean, sometimes you watch them just not really work. And then you watch them beat down the Pats last weekend. I'm going to go with the Texans here because I am a C.J. Stroud fan, and at times Derek Carr can be a little frustrating as a quarterback. You just see him; he's got receivers, he's got them there. So I'm going to go with the Texans here.
All right.
I'm actually with you, and for kind of the same reason. When I look at C.J. Stroud's game, if you would have told me that the most accurate 10-plus air yard passer from this draft class would be C.J. Stroud, I mean, yeah, I would have believed you. But if you're looking at these downfield throws, especially with the fact that 4 of his 5 starting O-linemen they basically haven't solidified their O-line all season long, and Stroud still dealing. Also had a chance to sort of talk to a couple of people on that team, and they are all, and they're actually defensive players, and they were like, this guy's like the real deal. He's a leader, he's poised, he doesn't do that thing with his head where he doesn't know where he's looking. He knows exactly what he's supposed to be doing, making not just the first read, but also the second read, which is why his air yard numbers look so good. That's super interesting to me, and also the tight end helps them out with that too. But what he's done without any O-line really, like stability along the O-line, is super impressive.
It's spectacular. And again, CJ has yet to throw a pick. I'm not
You
intending
stop
to
this.
jinx him. Everybody's been saying it every single week. I don't think he's going to throw an interception this week. Again, jinxes don't exist. I do think the Saints win
Well,
the game.
momentum does.
Give me the dog. Make it hard. All that. It's going to be a low-scoring game in this one. The Saints defense making this short trip over. Dennis Allen's history against rookie quarterbacks, against C.J. Stroud, has been spectacular, but they've been really good. They showed the offense, as Jerry mentioned, a little bit of life. Scoring 4 touchdowns. They didn't have that in the last couple of games offensively. Michael Thomas has been a volume target guy for Derek Carr. Week 3, he had 9 targets. Week 4, 9 targets. Week 5, 8 targets. Last week, he had 12 yards a catch. Something is happening here. Maybe it's Alvin Kamara coming back.
Maybe.
We'll see how good these things are, but I'm banking on that Saints defense to cause a lot of problems for the electrifying rookie. Let's get to some over-unders here. As we start with the Commanders and the Falcons, we get our fangers back. I do not think this is going to be a high-scoring game because we've got strength on strength, 36 points for me, so I'm going to take the under.
I'm going to take the under, too. I actually want to talk a bit of fantasy here for a second. I think the Falcons are a pretty good defense to stream this week also.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh, very fun. Grady Jarrett with that. I have more points than that. Not a ton more. I have 46 total points in this matchup, but that is more why I actually think that we're going to see Desmond Ridder stay good against the pass rush. So he's going to be able to overcome Chase Young and his ability to just crush people's soul because he has that great O-line and also good pass counter.
All right, Vikings and the Bears, no Justin Jefferson. The over-under is 44, and despite the fact that JJ's not playing, I still think these defenses are not especially good. So, yeah, more points.
I want to say Justin Fields has arrived, and I'm taking the over here. I think they're going to score more. I really do. I think we have an electric player in our midst, everybody.
I'm with you. I have more points for him as well, and the whole team, both in each side of the ball here. I think you're going to want to make sure, like in daily fantasy lineups, Jordan Addison is such a good pick because he's underpriced. He was priced as if JJ was still playing. So there you go.
All right, let's get to an NFC West showdown right across the street. The Cardinals and the Rams about 50 yards that way at SoFi Stadium. The number is 48.5, and as much as I would love to, I think the game flow is going to be a little bit slower. I've got 45 total points, meaning it's going to be the under.
I don't know. I'm going to be a little contrarian here. Cooper Kupp is back. I'm going to say they're going to score more. I say they're going to score more.
I just don't think that the Arizona Cardinals, other than Hollywood Brown, are going to keep up their end of the scoring bargain in this one. I have 27-18 in the matchup, which adds up to 45, which is fewer points. You still want to start Stafford. He's my quarterback 6 that's left. So if somehow he's available, and he is largely available, that's a good streamer for you.
There we go. We got a couple streaming advice here as we go to more or less. Jerry, I do want to ask you, because they're going to get everything going, put the banners up.
Yep.
They're going to go whose house? Rams house.
Right.
As a Chargers fan, 1 to 10 bother level there.
The Rams here at SoFi do have well, I mean, they won the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I guess they have bragging rights. As a Chargers fan, we're pretty laid back. We're pretty flip-flop wearing. We're not into like this sort of who's better, who's got. We're pretty chill. We don't get into these arguments.
Here's the
like,
thing, though.
What's up, man?
Above the fray.
Here's the thing, though.
cool.
That cannon is frightening every time. When they score,
Right.
you're like, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, it's terrifying.
We're sort of like the yacht rock of Southern California football
Plus the
teams.
cannon.
We're not
Yacht rock, like a pirate ship, but not a
I'm
pirate.
here again.
Yard rock. We got more coming up here on Game Day View, including Write This Down. Jerry's been writing things down all show.
Oh, yeah.
What prediction does he have for Week 6? That's coming up on Game Day View. Back here on Game Day View, it is time to get your pens and paper, tablets, however you choose to maintain information. Week 6 predictions. Jerry, what should the people write down?
I think the Jets are going to score a defensive touchdown against
Ooh,
the Eagles.
spicy.
Yeah, it's 6 points on the board. Yes, Jets. I think it's going to happen.
All right, there it is.
I thought that was just an extra scary, ferocious moment. Okay, listen, I love revenge. Jacoby Myers, we didn't even bring him up. You know what the Patriots offense is missing? Yeah, Jacoby Myers. Do you know who's going to score a touchdown against them?
Ooh.
Jacoby Myers.
I
think it's going to happen. Obviously, he is a favorite end zone target, especially you've seen it in past games. But I love this one. I feel like this one should already be written down. I feel like I could already take this one as a W.
Yeah, I love it. He had a great game last week.
I feel like I'm tiptoeing and being sheepish here. You guys are predicting touchdowns, a defensive touchdown, a particular player touchdown. I'm just going to tell you that, and again, sorry, Jerry, Tony Pollard is going to have more than 70 rushing yards on Monday night against this Chargers defense. In fact, it was easy. Tony Pollard over 70 rushing yards the first 3 games of the season, did it 3 games in a row. Back-to-back games against the Cardinals and then the 49ers. 2 really good defenses. Cardinals better than we thought. The Chargers are not that particularly. I think it's going to be more than 70. And
I like that. I'd love to have Pollard catch a few passes as well. That would really help me out in fantasy this weekend.
Get him back in your
Tony,
good
if
graces.
you're listening, tell your coach you need it for Jerry.
This has been so fun, everybody. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for
spending
coming.
time with us.
Thank you so
Making
much.
picks.
We really appreciate it.
We're going to keep your circled paper to note.
Set your alarms for London,
where
everyone.
we were wrong. Enjoy the games, everybody. We'll see you
Jolly
next
good.
week.
Right.